I'm fortunate, Madam Deputy Speaker, to represent one of the most idyllic constituencies in the country. A drive through Mid Worcestershire is a wonderful experience, starting from Broadway, the gateway to the Cotswolds in the south, through the gently undulating landscape of the Vale of Evesham, past fields of asparagus, plum and apple orchards, and greenhouses full of fragrant and beautiful flowers. One continues north, passing the Worcester Warriors Rugby Stadium, towards the historic town of Droitwich Spa and on to Ombersley and Hartlebury in the north. On the journey, one will pass through many quintessentially English villages, with splendid names like Upton Snodsbury, Flyford Flavel, and my children's favourite, Wyre Piddle. The long-term economic plan is working in Worcestershire, which has the third fastest economic growth rate in England, and unemployment in my constituency is down 62% since 2010. Does the Prime Minister agree that the further redoubling of the Cotswold line would add additional economic benefits to my constituents and all those along the route?
First of all, can I congratulate my honourable friend for winning his constituency, and can I say he has got off to a tremendous start by not only mentioning the long-term economic plan, but also mentioning the railway line that goes straight through the middle of my constituency, which I want to see the further redoubling of. So he's already my new best friend.
The Prime Minister has met many great people, but I believe he has yet to meet the Vale of Evesham's very own Gus the Asparagus Man. Would he like to overcome that omission by joining me in the Vale of Evesham for the upcoming British Asparagus Festival, which starts on St George's Day, and show his support for our fantastic farming industry? Does the Secretary of State agree that creating an environment in which our children can achieve their full potential is a core responsibility of government? And therefore the expansion of an outstanding school must surely be welcomed by anybody sensible and signals good government? Pensions are a really important issue to my constituents. The government has delivered on its side of the bargain by giving savers the freedom to access their pensions. Will the Chancellor do all he can do to make sure that the industry lives up to its side of the bargain and delivers on those freedoms? Mr. Speaker, most businesses, as well as workers in my constituency, warmly welcome the introduction of the national living wage and the increased spending power it will deliver. Will the Chancellor and his team be carefully monitoring the implementation of the national living wage to see if any unintended consequences happen, particularly in those sectors where margins are already small, such as farming, social care and hospitality? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could the Secretary of State set out for my constituents in Worcestershire what the impact of the Trust being put into special measures is likely to have this year, and what improvements they can expect when the Trust exits special measures?
To you is, given the profits that you're making, yet the customer service standards that you are exhibiting, wouldn't you like to be a CEO who not just makes profits and gets that legacy, but actually be the person who turns the brand name of BT and Openreach around, to be positively spoken of instead of consistently negative? Because I have to be very clear, that's all we hear as MPs. I want you to really understand the depth of feeling on this from our constituents and the communications we get into our offices. Mr. Patterson, can I ask how much you earned last year?
My salary was £946,000.
And what was your total compensation?
I had a bonus of £1.3 billion.
Okay, so I'm a right-wing, pro-business, pro-free markets Tory, and even I have a problem with that, given the customer service standards and the calls coming into my office. My constituents have a hard time understanding the profits BT is making and Openreach is making, and your salary with what they're receiving in terms of service.
Does the Prime Minister, like me, appreciate decisiveness, and does she agree that voting yes in this motion signifies strength, whereas abstaining is a symbol of weakness?
Well, I have to say to my honourable friend, I think absolutely that voting yes is a sign of strength. I would say a little more about abstaining, but I think anybody who abstains and thinks we shouldn't have a general election presumably is endorsing the record of the Conservative government.
And we must listen to people with deep knowledge and expertise in sectors that are perhaps not well represented in this place, yet face some particularly complex challenges with Brexit, such as the aviation industry, digital and creative industries, and those sectors where there is no clear WTO alternative. I encourage the Government to continue engaging with industry and engaging with experts, and I look forward to playing my part by providing constructive input and holding the Government to account to ensure that Government delivers a successful deal that helps Britain and secures my children's future.